In this session, we're going to talk about screen layout, what are columns, rows, cells, and how do you enter text or labels, or how do you number numbers, which are different in Excel. And then we'll talk a bit about formulas, but that we'll get to more detail later. So let's first talk about moving around on the cell. When you see this white uh, square move, it's because I'm moving my mouse around. When you see this square over here, it's because that's where I've clicked. If I want to click somewhere else, it moves over here. So when you see these things moving around, it's because I'm clicking with my cursor in different cells. And so when I'm going on later, you'll hear me say, oh, click here or click there, and that's what I'm doing. I'm clicking my cursor in different places. Okay, so in Excel, there are rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. They're numbered down the left side. And there are columns A, B, C, D, E, and they're lettered across the top. And I think there's 10,000 or 1,000 letters. You can go up to A, B, B, B. So you can see they keep going forever. So I mean, there's many rows. You're not going to run out of space to do a spreadsheet. Um, and then at the intersection of each um, row and column is a cell. And up here in this square, you'll see the cell address. Now, in this case, since I've highlighted this whole column, it says E1, but that's column E, row 1. If I go here, it's A1. If I go here, it's C5. So up here, you always have the cell address where you're working, and here is where you'll see the highlighted area where the cell is. Up here, if I type something into this cell, I'm just typing in 1, 2, 3, 4. If I type something in and then hit enter, you'll see that here is what's in the cell, but up here you can also see what's in the cell. So you always have the cell address up here and what's in the cell over here. So this is the actual data that's in this cell address. So you can see it in two places. That's the point. You can see it up here and down here. I'm going to go down here and delete this. Um, in Microsoft, as you know, there's many ways to do things. In fact, there's almost never just one way to do it. There's many ways to do it. In general, I am going to show you one way, and the way I will show you is probably for most of you the long and methodical way. But that's the way I do things to make sure that I'm doing them right. But if you know shorter ways to do it, feel free to use that. Okay, so we've identified rows, we've identified columns, and we've identified cells. I want to show you one more thing, which is this little square right up here that's neither a column address or a row address. It's the table address. And when you click on it, it highlights the entire table. Now, anything you do now affects the entire spreadsheet. So, for example, if I wanted to change the font size from 11 to 28 or 36, it changes the entire font size. And when I type in here now, that's what size that is in this square, and it will be that size throughout the entire spreadsheet. This is particularly useful when you're making presentations and you don't want to put up project a presentation onto the overhead projector, which is 11 points, and people are straining to see it. So this is particularly useful in those areas. I'm deleting that. And then the last thing I want to talk about, so we can type in ABCD, which is um, text, and text is always left aligned. And you can type in numbers, and numbers are always right aligned. So you can always tell whether an entry in a cell is left aligned or right aligned. If it's right aligned, it's a number. If it's a right aligned, it's a number. If it's left aligned, it's a text. Now let's say I type in here a number 36, and then I go back up here and I change it to be left aligned. When I do that, Excel treats that as a text field. So it won't do any calculations. So if you see something that's left aligned, Excel thinks that's text, and so it won't do any calculations. So that's another important thing to remember. Okay, we're going to stop here, and then we'll start again with looking at how you format cells and do column width and some of those other things you can do to the spreadsheet.